Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to the FinMeUp Weekly Wrap, where we cover the most important news of the week of the stock market, both locally and internationally. So there's a few companies we're going to look at today, but just first, hope you are ready for the rugby later today, as well as the soccer. There's been quite a few upsets. I'm not the biggest soccer fan, more rugby and cricket, but it's been interesting. But let's look at some interesting companies. So we're going to cover a few companies today: MrPrice Group, KaapAgri, Omnia, Telkom, Pepkor, and in the US also just some announcements from Apple and Disney. We're going to look at the John Deere earnings, shares that I actually own, and just a few other things. So let's dive right in. Paul, I know KaapAgri, I know you own shares, I own shares. We both bought around 38, 39 Rand a share. They brought out results which seemed very good. So the revenue grew by 48.4%. The earnings per share increased by 23%, and they declared a gross dividend of R1.22, which also increased by 9.9%. So it's been a great year, but even through everything they say there are challenges. Load shedding is a challenge. The inflation is a challenge, but still the results delivered. They are executing year after year. Tell us more about KaapAgri.
Yeah, you go. I love KaapAgri. I'm also writing a stock pick now at the moment. So everyone who's watching, next week you can expect the KaapAgri stock pick. So yeah, I think they're the best retailer given their price at the moment, you go. It's a brilliant company trading below fair value or intrinsic value in my opinion. They obviously have a very captive audience in the Agri space, and now they also have Agrimark shops. Like I know you stayed near Satari in Somerset West. They opening shops there, I saw. So now the normal consumers can also buy from them, which is very exciting. And then also, I'm very bullish on their recent expansion into fuel. So obviously, the agri market is very cyclical, right? It depends on the weather, the yields from the various farmers, and so on. But oil is more. It's an additional revenue stream, which means steady income, stability, and I think this business is just growing from strength to strength.
Yeah, looking forward to that stock pick. Let's not talk further about it and keep it tuned for that stock pick. Would also love to see some of your bear arguments, because everything looks great, but this is an interesting company. It's got a lot of moving parts. So
Yeah.
looking forward to that stock pick. Another company that brought out results, another retailer, is MrPrice Group. I don't know if you shop there, Paul. Personally, I don't. I don't know too much about retailers. But their group revenue grew by 6.5%, so nothing too big. The basic earnings per share grew 13.7%, and they declared an interim gross cash dividend of, I think it's R3.12. What's your take on MrPrice Group? Are they a company that you follow?
Yeah, look, we all have to shop at MrPrice every now and then, especially given the recession. If you were a Woolies boy before, you're definitely dipping your toes into the MrPrice stock at the moment. But listen, yeah, MrPrice is obviously it's a value play. They're not Pep, but they're not Woolies either. So it's somewhere there in the middle. Oftentimes it's the best value for money. But I think a top line growth of 6.5%, it shows that they're also struggling. In these economic times, I don't think, given their price, that they're the best investment at the moment. I think there are better opportunities.
Interesting. Telkom. So there's been a lot of news about Telkom this year with mergers and acquisitions and all sorts of things. Their revenue fell by 0.7%. Not great compared to what other companies you can get that's actually growing and at very attractive valuations. And I actually saw a tweet from someone that could be the reason why MTN wanted to, not allow this to go through. But who knows? It's just speculation. But not too great results from them. The earnings per share fell by 52.5% ish.
Yeah, look, I'm not a Telkom fan at all. Customer service, and customer service. When you send an email to Telkom, it just kind of disappears into oblivion. You'll never get a response from Telkom. I've tried multiple times, so I'm not a fan. And I think, given the fiber competition that's heating up, everyone is getting fiber, if not better. And then also Vodacell. Vodacell has to compete against the likes of Vodacom, MTN, and even Cell C. I don't think they really stand a chance. Maybe they surprise me, but I'm staying very far away from owning Telkom shares.
Interesting. So Omnia, I don't know Omnia. I don't follow Omnia, so I'm not going to comment. I'll just say the revenue grew by 23%, operating profit increased by 47.4%, and earnings per share increased by 7.8%. You've done a stock pick on Omnia, so you know it a little bit better. I know you. Yeah, tell us more about Omnia.
Yeah, so Omnia, I think Anthony Clark recently actually did a stock pick on Omnia. He's fairly bullish on the stock. I also liked Omnia when I did the stock pick a few months ago, but again, it's agriculture, and that means cyclicality. Um, they have fertilizers, agricultural products. They had a boom the last couple of years because we had very good yields, good weather, good harvest, all of this. And now recently the war and COVID helped it even further. The fertilizer, Russia is they're the world's biggest producer of fertilizer. For those of you who didn't know, so taking that player out of the market means that there's other companies that's going to obviously benefit from that. So Omnia was one of those. But war isn't sustainable. Well, hopefully not. So once again, I like the company, but I'm not throwing the kitchen sink at this one. I might dip my toes in the water, but nothing. I'm not gonna go big on this one.
Yeah, I mean, fertilizer will always be there and there will always be a demand. So there's that
Yeah.
side, but also not a company that just interests me too much. So I'm also staying away just because I don't have interest in it. So I'm not going to do further research in it. Pepkor Holdings, another retailer, a lot of retailers. Revenue grew by 5.3%. The revenue was negatively impacted by the KZN floods, which was outlined. Earnings per share grew by 24.7%, and the net asset value grew by 8.4% to 17 Rand 6 cents. So, there's that you can compare it to. Net asset value, always a different topic. I mean, there's so many ways you can look at it. Any comment on Pepkor?
Yeah, I'm quite bullish on Pepkor. They're unbelievable operators. They have one of the best distribution networks in the world. Wherever you are in South Africa, you'll find a Pep. There's always a Pep. And Pep, given our economy, emerging markets, developing countries, they will always do well, right? I've heard someone actually say they're a post office because, it doesn't matter where you're given your little package, you can collect it anywhere else in the country. And the real kicker, expansion into Brazil. So I've been following this a little bit. I don't know too much, but I know they've beaten expectations for the first set of results. And that's obviously a massive opportunity. Brazil has a massive economy, much bigger than ours. And the population is kind of similar. Like I said, it's like middle to low class is the biggest portion of the population. And if they can penetrate there, they're gonna pop off. So I'm definitely keeping my eye on this one. I have increased my exposure, so let's hope for the best.
Okay.
Let's make some money.
I don't own any Pepkor shares at this moment, but we'll definitely look into the Brazil expansion, something to look at. Let's move on to the US. So nothing to discuss, just Amazon plans to invest $1 billion a year in movies for cinema. So cinema is making a return. I mean, there's nothing like a popcorn and a slush puppy at your cinema. Amazon will release at least 12 films annually in the theaters. Looking at Apple is close to a deal for the book rights to Michael Lewis's story about the fall of Sam Bankman-Fried, actually Fried, probably Fried, and FTX.
Yeah.
Manchester United, their owners, the Glazer family, announced today that they're exploring a sale of the team, and I know Apple is interested in that. Is that correct?
I don't follow this, Hugo. But I know Manchester United is up for sale. I'm not a soccer guy. I know I've had a lot of flack about that. I don't really follow the World Cup, so sue me. Don't know. Sorry.
Okay, yeah, but I've heard rumors that Apple is considering it. We can look into that. Twitter added another 1.6 million daily active users this week, if that, according to Elon Musk.
Yeah.
Disney appointed their old CEO back, Robert Iger, if that's pronounced correctly. He's always been a legend. He was such a great CEO, great to see him back. Another result from a company that I actually own shares in, and that is John Deere, or just Deere, and their earnings per share was, for the quarter, was $7.44, which beat the expectations of $7.11, and revenue of $15.5 billion, beating expectations of $13.3 billion. So, beating expectations, this company, they have a massive competitive advantage. They've got a moat, such a strong brand. you're not going to easily build another business. If I give you $1 billion, Paul, I doubt you'll be able to build another John Deere. So that's why I love this company. It goes much deeper. They've got a great backlog. They have some challenges with the supply chain issues globally, and that is still going on. But we can expect that to ease over the next few months and years. Any comment on John Deere?
Ego, once again, cyclical. I'm scared of cyclicals at this stage, due to everything that's going on in the world. The big question is, of course, can you beat the average? So for me, I'm an ETF guy. I'm a funds guy. So for me to invest in an individual company, it has to be, I need to know a lot about the company, and it needs to outperform. So I'm not investing, but I know you know a lot more. So knowledge is power in this game, because that brings conviction. So if you like them, let's talk after this meeting. Maybe I'll dip my toes.
Yeah, so I have done a stock pick on John Deere, very basic overview, and what I like about John Deere on the FinMeUp app. Speaking about the FinMeUp app, the quiz. So we're going to announce the winners once again. So for those that don't know, all you have to do to stand a chance to win one of 10 100 Rand vouchers every week for the rest of the year is you just have to play the quiz. It's free to play, 5 questions a day. You'll improve your knowledge, and you get a chance to win. If you share, it's a bonus entry. Every time you play, it's an entry. So if you haven't played the quiz, hope you enjoyed. Build your streak, build your place on the leaderboard. But the winners for this week are